Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority Planning Commission meeting. Meeting is now in session. Call to order at 6:43 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi,
Present.
Councilmember Tylinda,
She was stepped out to the restroom, I guess.
Councilmember Marquez,
Here.
Councilmember Calderon is absent. We have quorum.
Okay, thank you. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Please remain standing for the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts, thankful for the blessing of being able to serve and for being part of this great community. As we gather today to make decisions for the good of our community, Holy Spirit, please guide us. Grant us the wisdom that will help us lead with compassion and purpose. Help us be humble to listen well and act justly in all that we do. Lord, we ask for your Spirit to unite us because we understand that united we are stronger. May the council and community always work as one, setting aside personal interests to serve the common good of every resident, neighbor, and visitor. Bless this meeting, each council member, and all who call Calexico their home. May our work today plant seeds of hope and progress for our future generations. In your holy name we pray, amen.
Thank you. Closed session announcements.
Thank you, Mayor. We have no closed session announcements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Approval of the agenda. If we're going to, just remind me, City Attorney, if we're going to pull some items out of consent, do we do it during consent or right now when we're approving the agenda?
If you're going to see on the agenda, just hear them for individual discussion. We can do that when we get to the consent.
Okay, thank you. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Tylinda,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Calderon is absent. Motion passes.
Thank you. Do we have any announcements? Okay, so we'll move over to public comments. City Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a time and place for the public to address City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The City Clerk will recognize you when you come to the podium, and please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal slanderous remarks. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comments then. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Public comment will be limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. If additional time is required for public comments, thank you. They will be heard towards the end of the meeting after discussion and potential action items. It is now 6:47 p.m., so we would be ending at 7:17, I believe, if we need to move forward. Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment?
Yes, we do. I will be calling two names at a time. Please come up to the podium. Maria Silva and Eugenio Ramos.
Buenas tardes. Soy María Silva, 1907 Philur Avenue, Victorias Villas. El motivo que estoy aquí es para agradecer a todos el personal del concilio por haber prestado atención a nuestras peticiones por el Parque Córdoba. Esperamos pronto ver terminadas las obras de este parque y poder disfrutar en familia en este parque comunitario. Muchas gracias. Hay varias personas que no pudieron asistir, pero también estamos varias que estamos aquí en representación de esta comunidad donde se encuentra el Parque Córdoba. Pues muchas gracias a todos, esperemos que pronto se vean los resultados y, como les digo, poder disfrutar de este parque. Muchas gracias de antemano.
Thank you, ma'am. Next person, Madam Clerk.
Eugenio Ramos. I live in 925 Salvador Guillén Street. First off, I want to thank Lisa Tailenda for being present, even though she could possibly have a maternity leave or whatnot. But even though maybe people might not know, she just had a baby. So I just want to thank you for being present. Secondly, I want to be thankful for two people on the council that have been standing their ground. I really appreciate the fact that they're representing us, the community, and I really wish that all 5 of the council members would be on the same page. And I just spoke to Mr. Legaspi regarding one of my issues, so I'll just keep that private. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do you have anybody else, Madam Clerk?
Yes. Next two speakers are Cristina Juan Ramirez and George Acuña.
Good evening. My name is Christine Wong Ramirez, 1002 East 6th Street. All I want to say is I was going to write things down. However, I'm going to talk from the heart and from what people have told me. Okay? Number one, the employees are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. First of all, when you have a council that's requesting papers, that is requesting backup, you need that, okay? And to me, it's like you need to have all that in order for you guys to make a decision, not just come up here and say, oh, somebody, city manager, like if somebody says, I want this, and we're gonna go with this proposal because it's the lowest bid. And it turns out to be the highest bidder because we have a whole bunch of change of orders, which is ridiculous, okay? We had that example with the fire department, which should have been just straight, okay? So we need someone that's gonna be more responsible, that's gonna have a company that has a planning department, it has an engineer, it has everything there, focus, so they could have that. I mean, the simple thing, the windows were out of compliance. That should have been on the proposal, okay? So that's the one thing. I'm not against the employees, but if they're not doing their job at that position where they're at, you should be changing them. And that's always been done. All this praising of employees for spending my money because I'm a city resident, it really is upsetting, okay? And then you guys are thanking them, for what? For overspending? I have that problem, and I have many calls, okay? So I don't appreciate that. The other thing is, you're talking about conflict of interest, attorney. What reminded me, when you guys were doing the budget and stuff like that, it reminded me of the Luis Castro days. Remember Calexico Transit. Remember, because he didn't see it, he could vote on it, okay? But the citizens saw it as a conflict of interest, and it became a big old thing. So my thing is, you know what, look at things, and like I told you, attorney, I asked to talk to you one time, and you said, I represent the city. Represent the city, please, okay? But, I mean, like I said, don't take offense. I'm not taking against any employee because I know most of you, 2 of you are new, but I know most of you personally, and I think that, you know what, you do your job, but do it somewhere else, a different department. We all have our forte, and we need to find that on the employees, okay? Because, I mean, I don't think you're gonna want a secretary to go up there and be patrolling, so we have to find their forte, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have another public
Yes.
comment?
Next two speakers are George Acuña and Annika Penner-Smith. Next two speakers are
I didn't see George. He was before me. I got nervous.
Hello, everyone. Buenas tardes. My name is Annika Penner-Smith, and just here to say hello, good evening. I am a citizen of El Centro, and I am concerned with the lack of empathy that I have seen from Calexican leadership. I'm here on speaking for the wastewater operators because they are people first. They are fathers, they are sons, they are brothers. They have families and they have lives and rich lived histories. And they are Calexicans, whom you have been elected to serve. And I would urge you to listen to their stories with humanity and empathy because, again, they are people. And they are worth infinitely more than the labor that they provide. That being said, the labor that they do provide is extremely skilled and necessary to the daily operations of this city. And privatization to local water would jeopardize their livelihoods, their abilities to provide for themselves, their families, their children, and not only for them, but raising water rates for Calexican citizens is personally, in my belief, inhumane. Water is necessary to sustain human life, and it is absolutely essential in our desert environment. Without water, we will die. And water privatization would create barriers to water and make it less accessible to people who need it to sustain their lives. And I believe that it is, within your power as not only fellow Calexicans, but as elected officials. I would urge you to remain empathetic, open-hearted, open-minded, and to listen with open hearts and open ears to how these issues would affect the people of your city. So thank you so much for giving me time. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have another public comment?
Yes, we do. Next two speakers, please come up to the microphone. Carmina Posminer and Claudia Martinez Robles.
Hello, good evening. My name is Carmina Bosmenier. I'm here once again to urge the council not to move forward with any form of water privatization in Calexico. We don't really have to look far to see the consequences of putting our water into private hands. Last November, residents from across Imperial County gathered outside the CPU's first meeting here in 8 years to protest the skyrocketing water rates. Groups like Los Amigos de la Comunidad, they organized to demonstrate because residents in Calipatria and Nyland, two of our poorest towns, not just in the county, but in the entire state, are paying outrageous high water bills under Golden State Water, a private company. Golden State Water buys water from the Imperial Irrigation District for about $20 an acre, yet it turns around and it charges families in Calipatria and Nyland about $2,000 an acre foot. That's more than 100 times the original cost, 100 times. It's inhumane, like Annika said. Meanwhile, these families are being forced to decide whether they can water their plants at home or stay alive and feed their families. So to point out what we're seeing, Imperial County has some of the cheapest water in the state, yet under private control, residents are paying the highest rates. So this is not fair, it's immoral, and it's exactly what's at risk here in Calexico. I am a resident of the Imperial Valley, and I think it's crucial that we protect our workers and we keep them here in the valley, that we don't outsource groups, and that we keep the profit margins here in the valley. We've also seen that despite the criminalizing of homelessness and the sweeps, Calexico has lost $500,000 in revenue. So we're not even making money. And I want to remind you that you all work for us. So please, stand up for us, keep the community in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have another public comment? Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Claudia Martínez Robles, 2222 G. Cleveland. Mi comentario es general sobre el Parque Córdoba, solamente para agradecer al concilio, a mayor, a todos en general, por prestar atención al problema, por tratar de darnos una respuesta y combinarlos a todos a que nos ayuden a terminar esto y que se termine en el mejor término, tomando en cuenta todo lo que se refiere al proyecto y cómo va a afectar a las personas que viven alrededor del parque, que siga siendo un parque comunitario y que trabajemos todos juntos para poder llegar a un buen término con este proyecto. Gracias.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next two speakers are Katia Olivas and Jesus Navarro.
Hello, my name is Katia Olivas. I am a resident of the Kumeyaay and the Coahuila and the Cucapa Nation. So I am here to discuss about the lack of negotiations with the water union. It is unacceptable that you only have 2 water plants and you won't even negotiate with the workers. They have expressed concern that you as a city council have not met with them and instead have sent negotiators to speak with them and then reject any proposal that they have expressed. So we are here to remind you that you are elected by us, you are paid by us, and so you represent us, and you will be held accountable by us. We are also here to call you guys out on even mentioning privatization of our water. We know what this will cause. We know that the Imperial Valley, the Imperial Irrigation District privatizes their water. 97% of their water goes to farmers, goes to agriculture. Now tell me how much of that food goes to Imperial Valley residents. 0. 0. Our community is food insecure, and you guys want to privatize our water even more when we are literally experiencing the side effects of climate change, when we are already in June more than 110 degrees, and we are barely starting July. Barely. So we will reach more than 120 degrees, and y'all want to create an even more lack of water, where residents have to pay even more for their water. So where is that money gonna go to? To your pockets? Because it's not gonna go to the workers. It's not gonna go to the residents of this county, to Calexico. Is it gonna go to the private company that y'all wanna sell their water off to? Because these residents, only 2% of the water in the whole Imperial Valley goes to the residents. 2% of the water. And 97% goes to the farms. So we want to know who is going to get that check. And why are y'all even mentioning privatization of our water when we already see the side effects of it? And so again, we urge you guys to negotiate with the union, with the water union, with the workers who have worked in this county and in that water plant for years and who support their families with the income that they earn. And they deserve more. As y'all have gotten your raise in wages, they deserve that too. They deserve better benefits. They deserve a people and a whole county behind them. And that is why we are here. And we will be back if y'all don't negotiate with them. Because again, y'all serve us. And you guys are paid with our tax money. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have other public comment?
Yes, we do.
Hi, my name is Jesus Navarro. I live at 825 South Guilin Street in Calexico. I have worked as a wastewater collection operator grade 3 for the city of Calexico for over 20 years. I'm a proud union member. I want to thank the city council for allowing me to speak tonight and for listening to what I have to say. As a member of my bargaining team, I am frustrated by the lack of progress in our contract negotiation over the last 2 months. The city council has not given the negotiators proper authority to give us a fair deal. They rejected all our proposals, even the ones that don't cost any money. We understand that the city is in a tough financial position. We want to work with you, the council, to find a solution that is fair to us and the community as a whole. We have been trying to meet with you, the council members, to talk to you about our issues and listen to you about yours, but you have refused. When all we hear is no, 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 without any explanation, it is hard for us to understand the council's position. We are also very disappointed to hear the city council is considering privatizing the water plant, which will raise water rates for everyone and result in the loss of good union jobs. Privatization, we believe, will be bad for the city as a whole. We would like to request that the city council meet with our bargaining team to find a way forward. We would also like to request good faith negotiations and a fair deal on the bargaining table. Thank you. I want to offer you guys an open invitation to please come and talk to us, any one of you that will meet with our members. So maybe the city's been in trouble in other years, and they've actually come to the workers, and we've actually helped them out. We've made deals, all the workers and the council together. We have gotten the city out of problems. You guys are keeping quiet. You guys aren't talking to us. Man, maybe we could help you guys out of the problem you guys are in. There's a lot of workers here, and we've done it before. So take us into consideration. Don't keep everything. Don't keep quiet. Don't shut up. Talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next two speakers are Kimberly Palacio and June Kim.
Kimberly Palacio, 1001 West Sherman Street. I'm here not only as the lead organizer for the San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council, but as a lifelong resident of Calexico. I'm urging you to negotiate in good faith with SEIU 221 members for the sake of not just these workers, but all the residents of Calexico. On Monday's special council meeting, I heard council members Tailenda and Nuricumbo both mention the possibility of privatizing water in Calexico. For those of you who aren't aware, Nyland and Calipatria have already gone through this process and privatized their water, facing disastrous results and paying exorbitant water rates. As my colleague Carmina mentioned, Golden State Water, the private company that contracts with IID, purchases their water from them for $20 per acre foot and marks it up 100 times, selling it back to residents at $2,000 per acre foot. That's obscene, in case you didn't notice. Not only would you be hurting city employees, you'd essentially be crippling the finances of Calexico's working families. Mayor, you mentioned that sometimes private companies have better kept facilities and can process water for cheaper than the city can. That may be true, but you, I, and everyone here knows that those savings will never be passed back to the residents, let alone the city. Golden State Water, like other private water companies, is greedy and exploitative, and by privatizing water, you would be throwing the working residents of Calexico to the wolves. Any resident of Calipatria or Nyland can attest to this. The wastewater operator's contract expired 2 days ago. We need a new, fair contract now, and we urge you to bargain in good faith. Give these essential workers what they have earned. If these workers were to go on strike, everything in the city could literally come to a halt. Don't do that to us. Don't do that to these families. Privatization will not serve the common good, as was mentioned in the prayer earlier. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have more public comment?
Next two speakers are June Kim and David Saunders. Please come up to the microphone.
Before I said things, I really disappointed the last meeting of the council members' attitude. You guys using the word privatizing the water, at the same time you guys know it's not going to be cheaper. So what you guys threatening us to accept the water rate raise, or you're going to go to the privatizing the water? Without telling you guys' actions, but smiling, joking us with us, there's something wrong. You guys are representing the cities and citizens. You are responsible to make their work the best interest of the citizens, not someone else. I've been asking several times already, $50 million, the bond issued in 2020. You guys spent only $2.5 million. So where is that money? It's not showing on the book. But when you guys need the money, you order to the bank to release the money. So $50 million, $48 million hiding from eye of the from public. That's a transparency? Or somebody making some benefit? Who? City employees? City lawyer? Council member? Or city manager? Who is? Why has been necessary? Why the public fund is hiding from the public eyes? Right now, you guys are selling the idea to we are on the minus. This book saying we, City of Calexico, are going to have a $3.1 million profit to send it next year for the capital improvement budget. And you guys issued the bond 2018, 2020, and do nothing. And it's just everything price is going up, and just waiting to say, oh, we cannot have it, so we have to raise the water rate, and at the same time we're gonna borrow the bonds, borrow the money. That's you guys are details. You guys are gonna be following to the administration. The people's eyes are gonna see it. And same time, I'm gonna have some form the committee for the against the overraised rate, and people gonna joining me. We're gonna have a FPPC register. We're gonna action to take it. Who is gonna be with us? Who is gonna be with the water company? And we got so much money we're spending. We are
Thank
the
you,
one.
sir.
We are the one. Elect you guys.
Thank you, sir.
So what you guys done doing your job?
Okay. Do you have any other
David
public
Saunders.
comments?
Good evening. No water here, promise. But at the May 7th council meeting, there were cannabis-related concerns that were discussed, including a serious claim that someone was reportedly selling cannabis out of a van to minors. Now, a formal report on cannabis oversight was mentioned as being supposed to be provided on May 21st, yet that never appeared on the agenda. Now, since then, it has been declared from the dice that any kind of investigation is gossip. However, that directly contradicts what was acknowledged in open session and does not reflect the seriousness of the situation, especially when it involves illegal sales to minors and questions about proper business operations. So to date, there's been no public confirmation that the two active cannabis businesses in the city have all necessary licenses, that they are in full compliance with city and state law, and that warrants review. Now, given that this revenue from cannabis directly impacts the city budget, which was just approved, it's essential that the public understands whether all cannabis activity that is in Calexico is legitimate, accounted for, and benefiting the city as intended. So, as of this, I am formally requesting that cannabis licensing, enforcement, and compliance be added to a future agenda as a standalone item for public discussion. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and submit public records requests for all licensed cannabis businesses in the city. Business license information is public by law, and I look forward to reviewing it while we wait for the item to be addressed publicly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any
Yes,
more
next two
public comment?
speakers are Pat Ureña and Raúl Ureña.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council, city manager, and members of the public. Patricia Ureña, 1277 Topaz Court. I'm just here to bring some good news. Congratulations to the under 10 baseball all-star team for winning the Imperial County Championship. So kudos to those young kids, and also congratulations to the 12-year-old all-star championship team that also won the Imperial County Championship last week. And they're going to be hosting teams from San Diego, and that's to be announced later on today. I just want to send out a shout out to all the volunteers who continue to work with the youth here. So congratulations to the coaches as well. The other thing I just want to bring up is, I mentioned it in my commission meeting, or my report, but I'll mention it as a public member, that graffiti continues to grow in our residential areas. If you drive down Heber Avenue, the old home that belonged to the owner, Sam Alice, is completely tagged, and it's the runway to City Hall. So what are we doing to address all the writing on the residential walls? Is there a phone line where we can call? A lot of those people are seniors that can't go out there and paint the walls because they're just not able to. And the last thing of huge concern right now because of the weather, cooling zones. What are the cooling zones here in Calexico for people that are homeless? We're dealing with this very hot summer months, and we need to keep people safe from the heat. So if we can put out a notice as to where the cooling areas are, so we can keep people safe, including their animals, that would be very nice of the city to do. I kind of urge everybody to please carry water so that you can help those individuals who are living outside. There's a young man living over at the retention basin at Risen. He's been there for about 2 weeks, and I guess he's trying to stay cool. And my last comment is a happy one. I just want to say that I've had the opportunity to work with the city staff, fire, police, parks, recreation, library, and I just want to say that you have a very passionate staff. They're doing the best job that they can with what they have. So I think that when you just tell your staff that they're doing a great job, keep on doing what you can, it helps them in spirit to do even more. So just congratulations to the City of Calexico staff for all the work you continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, council, yet again. Muy buenas tardes, querido Cabildo. Mis acomodaciones de discapacidad, 4 minutos y medio. Me da tanta felicidad que pude hablar aquí, porque esta nueva regla de que solamente 30 minutos para que el pueblo les hable es tremendamente corrupta. Cuando yo era alcaldesa de esta ciudad, yo dejaba hablar a todos, hasta los que andaban hablando de mi pecho, los que andaban hablando de mi vestido, los que no tenían nada coherente que decir. Me quedaba aquí 2 horas para escuchar al pueblo, y aquí ni la luz del día les cabe, que eso es antidemocracia, y los del Ricol bien callados. Y también de lo que se callan, que es el primer presupuesto en 5 años que presenta un déficit a esta ciudad, poniéndonos otra vez en ruta a la bancarrota para el 2029. Así es. Es muy posible que si ustedes no hacen su trabajo, vayan a ser el último cabildo de Calexico antes de la bancarrota. Y eso lo hicieron sus manos que apoyaron al presidente Trump, que es por eso que nuestro auditor nos bajó el forecast, lo que va a ser nuestros ingresos a la venta, es decir, el negocio de Calexico bajó casi $500,000 en un año. Primera vez que eso pasa en 5 años bajo esta administración. Veo que no pudieron agarrar un administrador después de 1 año que corrieron a la que ahora es jefa de uno de los condados más ricos de toda California, que es Esperanza Colio. Va a pasar todo el año y sus manos rompiendo listones, igual que el Córdoba, de las administraciones pasadas, tirando fiesta con sombrero ajeno, sin mencionar que es el primer presupuesto en 4 años donde no hay incrementos en salario, donde se cortan posiciones municipales, que el berrinche de haber quitado los parquímetros los puso en un déficit. Pero bien a la brava, y ahora en el aire número 12 está la reverseada. Y específicamente todavía tiene el nombre de Esperanza Colio Warren. Y mientras estaban alegando que el Ricol, mira, mis pólizas salvándolos de la bancarrota. ¡Que viva! Y preguntó la señora Tailenda por qué nos quitaron la aseguranza. Pues porque le pregunta a la Maritza. Ella estuvo a cargo en el 2012, estaba en su expediente de presupuesto. 2012, 2013, 2014 destruyeron nuestra reserva, como esta vez por primera vez en 5 años, el primer año que no aumentamos la reserva porque no nos sobró dinero, porque se lo gastaron en berrinches. Esa aseguranza depende de una reserva estable. la reserva que les dejó la administración pasada, que hoy día se están comiendo. Ponte a investigar qué año fue, y fue precisamente la señora corrupta Maritza que te dio este puesto aquí a las queridas Noricumbo y Thailenda, que están sentados en el puesto de mi destitución y que han vuelto esta ciudad otra vez a la bancarrota. Eso no lo digo yo, lo dice la directora de finanzas en la última junta. Y tan terca estaba aquí mi comadre alcaldesa, la Noricumbo, que vi esas juntas, que quiere empezar un presupuesto de cero. Esta no es una tienda de ceviches, esta es una institución gubernamental con continuidad. Aquí no vendemos pescaditos ni tacos de birria, es mayormente presupuesto de labor especializado. El labor especializado que ustedes están insultando al decir en su mismo presupuesto que no va a haber aumentos para policías, que no va a haber aumentos para bomberos, para los operadores de agua, hasta privatizar el agua. Oye, mira, oíla, que Dios los oiga. El único que sí preguntó lo inteligente fue Calderón, que dijo, si no reversiamos lo de la medida H para el 2029, ¿qué vamos a hacer? La ciudad se va a hacer a bancarrota. Y fue la única pregunta que no respondieron, la más esencial. Diosito santo. Verdaderamente no sé ni de qué felicitarlos. Por aparentar, por ser heterosexuales, por ser antidemocracia. Me retumba el silencio del recall que andaba con todo respeto aquí sonando. ¿Son 4 minutos, mi querida alcaldesa?
4.5.
Muy bien,
Thank
que Dios
you.
la bendiga.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next speakers are Alexis Angel and Carmen Estrada.
Good evening, council members. So I usually during the school year don't get to come here that often because my kids are busy with all their activities, but I do watch. And I watched your guys' budget meetings, and I think there is nothing wrong with asking questions. I am the type of person where, yes, I'm sure you guys have the opportunity to ask those questions when they deliver the agenda for you, but sometimes documents aren't provided when I've seen several times at several meetings where they request specific documents and it's not provided at these meetings so that the whole community can see it. So I thank you, Nurikumbo and Thailenda, for asking questions. Now, is there always a better way to say things? Yes. And I think you guys probably go back and look and see and like, try to better yourself every time you ask that question. But also, on a more personal level, the budget was not, it was very dim, very dire, very gloomy, especially for, I'm sure, a lot of these people who work in the departments, to see that there's no increase. A lot of people have said a lot of what I've already thought here regarding the meters. Those should have been taken off a long time ago. I think it was put on during the holidays to benefit the companies, the stores downtown, but is it really helping your budget is something you need to consider. Water rates. I don't want a water rate. I pay a water bill. I don't want my water rates to go up. So there was an increase several years back. I, as a citizen, want to see where that money was spent, why it was spent. These are questions that you need to ask. Obviously, you're going to want to speak to your employees in private. I'm sure they're all hardworking. As a matter of fact, I know they're all hardworking, but definitely sometimes you have to come to the front and you have to ask in person in front of the public so we as citizens can see that you are asking those questions. So thank you for that. On another, I mean, it's not, there's a lot of things that are being put on the table here. Privatization, CalPERS, a lot of things that I'm sure families at home who work for the city are talking and saying, is this city really beneficial to be working in this particular city? Because as of now, I don't really see that many incentives for the employees here. So I think your guys' job is to make sure that there is a surplus. And you're not going to make everyone happy, but it's important to make sure that your budget is not just breaking even, but surplus. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Buenas tardes, soy Carmen Estrada. También quiero felicitar al equipo de soccer, que las personas que nos apoyaron son campeones a nivel nacional e internacional. Y pues estoy aquí pues para decirles que ocupamos un campo. Yo continuamente se los he estado pidiendo, el cual no se ha podido, pero ya estamos listos y preparados. Ya unimos a personas para hacer una junta la próxima semana para llevar a cabo un campo que sí va a ser campo, y queremos el apoyo de todos ustedes porque ya tenemos todo el equipo. La ciudad nomás nos va a ayudar con el permiso, pero ya tenemos todo el grupo que va a ayudar para hacer un campo. Eso lo vamos a ver esta semana para llevar a cabo ese campo que tanto lo necesitamos, porque somos campeones a nivel internacional y nacional. Otra, los campos Quinti Andrade y el Gutiérrez son campos que nuestra organización los mantiene en sprinkles, en semilla, en fertilizante, en árboles. La ciudad nada más nos ayuda a cortar el zacate, y yo les agradezco porque nos han dado el permiso de hacer lo que nos bloquearon que no hiciéramos. Están perfectamente bien. Los invito a que pasen por esos campos como están ahorita, llenos de niños. ¿Por qué? Porque la liga no la hemos terminado debido a que no hay campos. Entonces les voy a pedir ese apoyo. Esta semana van a venir personas, van a hacer junta con ustedes, quien quiere estar aquí para llevar a cabo este campo. Es algo muy hermoso y muy bonito. Otra, hace 16 años, ahí va lo malo. Sí voy a dar esta queja porque yo ya no la soporto. Yo tengo 67 años, yo ya no puedo resistir estas humillaciones. Yo había prometido no ser un escándalo y no lo voy a hacer. Por eso no traigo a mi gente aquí a felicitarlos, que son los campeones a nivel nacional. Nos destruyeron un campo, pusieron una torre. Jugando los niños pasa el tráiler. La ciudad ni se da cuenta de todo eso. Duraron como 2 meses llenos de piedras, de tierra, de todo, y ahí jugaban los niños. ¿Por qué? Porque no teníamos un campo. Teníamos la necesidad de estar ahí. Este día pasó una tragedia en el campo Carmen Estrada. Tenía 40 árboles que se les dio aviso al señor Saldaña, que eran 40 árboles que habían nacido. Cada árbol de esos cuestan $150 ahorita, que estamos hablando más de $8,000, que yo los estaba cuidando junto con las vecinas, regándolos, o sea, para que crecieran, para ponerlos en distintos campos. Va un empleado que hace 16 años me amenazó a mí que si hacía soccer, él se iba a encargar de hacer de las suyas, y lo sigue haciendo. Hablé a la policía para que fuera y viera quién fue la persona. Es un empleado que tumbó todos los árboles. Estoy bien triste. Y gracias, Lili, porque
Gracias,
quedaron
señora
4 y ella me los va a cuidar, que no los tumbe. Por favor, toman atención en esto. Gracias,
Okay,
Juan, porque todo el
Do we
tiempo
have
nos
any other
No more general
further comment? Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on to city manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Councilmen, City Councilwomen. My report today is the updates on various departments in the City of Calexico. First, we would like to talk to you about the library. This last few weeks, actually recently, they celebrated Men's Health Panel hosted on the 30th, coordinating with Calexico Rotary and NAMI Imperial. It was a well-attended event focused on the importance of seeking support, building awareness, and reducing stigma around mental health. The Family Summer Reading Program is in week 3. Approximately 350 people have registered. New registration accepted until the end of the month. So if you have anybody that wants to register for the Summer Reading Program. Currently, the library is providing 3 to 4 free meals daily, 3 to 4 free daily programs for the kids and teens and adults. The Calexico Fire Department gave a fire safety presentation this week at the library for residents and children, which was well attended and well received. The kids had a good time playing with the equipment and meeting their local firemen and seeing the equipment. On the police side, are just little bit of a chisme. Our two newly hired police officers, the very first call they received was an active stolen vehicle. Very first call from the first shift. And they went into a small mini vehicle pursuit and recovered that stolen vehicle at La Salida. Through the investigation, they found that there was a secondary stolen vehicle right next to that one. And so these new police officers ended up recovering 2 stolen vehicles that were stolen out of Riverside and were stolen by teens from Mexicali, which their intent was to take it to Mexicali to be taken over. So that was kind of great way to, introduce them into the field of law enforcement. What do you call it? Update on vehicles. The vehicles that were approved by City Council have arrived, and they'll be sent over to get worked on, along with the 2 motorcycles that were bought with the cannabis grant. They were actually used over the last weekend. The department is working on their training, updating their training to move everything in-house. So that way we're not spending money to have outside trainers or sending officers outside the county or outside the city for the training. So that makes us more self-reliant. We hosted over the last weekend what's called MACTAC training, and that stands for Multiple Assault Counterterrorism Action Capabilities. And it's a training for active shooter situations. It's something that we're very proud that we do every summer, and it's well attended. We held this one at San Diego State University, and so it gave the officers opportunity to practice, and brought San Diego State University to help us out, and we're involved in it. We, of course, did our annual safety sweep for graduation with our K-9 unit, and also separately to grad night. A little closer related to the library, the police department will be on July 8th at the library doing the same safety fair that the fire department did this week. This week also we had our first police commissioners meeting. That was pretty well attended, and we also had another town hall meeting for the alarm for the meters. And then the planning department, obviously, I'm not going to steal his thunder, but he's working on a lot of good programs. The planning department has a real good foresight of what they want to see Calexico be for the next several years. Very excited to see where Mr. Coyne's going to be taking the city. And for Public Works, they've conducted cleaning operations at 3rd and Pollen with pressure washers to clean that bus stop. They're going to be starting a downtown cleaning schedule starting July 18th, along with a pressure washing schedule that's going to be public posted at the July 18th on our website. The fire department has again conducted fire safety training with the Mexican Consulate. Also hosted a debrief meeting of the hazardous material incident that occurred at the O'Reillys. That was attended by multiple departments from across the Imperial Valley. And then obviously the biggest news for the fire department is we sent 4 firefighters to deploy to assist with the Wolf Fire in San Bernardino. They left Sunday and they safely returned today. This is the first time in 7 years that we've sent a strike team out of the city to assist in large fires. So that's big news. It's showing growth in both departments, in the fire department, that we're getting up to speed. Parks and Recs, they're running, as always, a robust and successful summer program. Recommend, if you haven't signed up your kids, to sign up for it. And from someone that's used it in the past for my kids, I recommend you take advantage of it. It's very well priced, and it gets the kids out of the house and moving, which is super important. They'll also be having a Community Service Commission meeting next Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. I recommend you all coming out too. And that's the end of my staff report.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Do we have any commissioners' reports?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the council, and our city manager. Patricia Orena, Chair of the Community Services Commission. Just as the chief mentioned, we are having a meeting next week, Wednesday, July 9th, at the Nene Torres Council Chambers here at 5:30. We have a number of agenda items to discuss, along with reports from the Public Works Manager and the Recreation Manager. Agenda items are in the city website if anybody wants to review them before the meeting. So we invite everyone to come in. We'll be reviewing or discussing review of mural guidelines, MOUs with schools, sports groups, and individual use for sports facilities, the Cordova Park Workshop Survey update, if any, the Heber Park expansion update, the upcoming Christmas parade for 2025, I think it's December 13th or 15th, Norma, I don't know, 13th. Rodriguez Park, updates on completion of fencing and other amenities to the snack bar. Nosotros Park, lights and ARPA funds that was allocated, past council allocated $500,000. We want to see if the lights are going up. Summer aquatics program, it's getting packed. If you haven't been to the aquatics pool, it is jam-packed with kids. We're also going to be looking at establishing ad hoc committees to work with residents and city staff on the above items and other items. And then we're also looking at possibly thinking about special events calendar so that we know ahead of time what's up and coming. Kind of trying to set some kind of strategic plan so that we know which route we're going with this commission and everything else. So look forward to seeing the public members. If they have questions, look at the agenda items on the website, and look forward to working with other commissions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have any more? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, and public. My name is Stacy Holguin, Camarena Memorial Library Board of Trustee, and I'm going to share with you activity report, what already Mr. Orozco kind of gave you a hint. The 2025 summer reading program, Color Our World at the Camarena Memorial Library, aimed to promote reading habits among children, teens, and their families during the school break through a diversity of activities and community collaborations. We look to encourage literacy, critical thinking, and love of books in an inclusive, engaging environment. Additionally, the program offers a free lunch and snacks to all children ages 1 to 18, thanks to a sponsorship from the Calexico Unified School District, ensuring that participants have access to nutritious meals while enjoying library activities. The following main activities were carried out during the program: reading clubs by age group, babies, school age, and teens, special events like the presentation by the Imperial Valley Desert Museum, nutrition program led by Calexico Unified School District, educational talks and activities with the Border Patrol and Fire Department. We will have the awards party held on August 12, 13, and 14. Kids will receive a prize for every 10 books read. Teens will receive a prize for every 5 books read. The awards will include certificates and books. Sorry. And also we have the free meals and snacks. Nutritious lunches, complete lunches and snacks were provided daily to all children aged 1 to 18 through the support of the Calexico Unified School District. The upcoming events, we have invited the following agencies and organizations to participate on upcoming dates: the Police Department, the next Tuesday, Imperial Valley Resource Management Agency, DPWAP Program, UC Master Gardener, Imperial County Health Department. The program helps strengthen the library relationship with the community, encourage recreational reading, and provide a safe, educational, and fun space during the summer break. The free meal service addresses an important community need, supporting local families. The feedback from the parents highlight the quality of the activities and the motivation children felt to read more. We sincerely thank the City of Calexico, council members, Calexico Unified School District, local sponsors, library staff, and all volunteers who would contribute to the success of the 2025 summer reading program. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so we'll move on to City Council comments and reports of meetings attended. Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I attended the Binational Relations Committee meeting. This is a second one that I attended, and we talked to U.S. Customs Port Director Mr. Rock, and we also, obviously, the issues that we're having is the traffic issues, and we're also we're going to be setting up a meeting, or they're going to be setting up a meeting with the customs on the Mexicali side and see how we can work this out. Also, Norma Gerardo hosted our first parade meeting, and the theme for the parade for this year is Christmas Joy Around the World. Talked about the registrations, the date. Obviously, somebody had mentioned December the 13th, and there will be vendors and lots of fun things to do. I also attended the Councilmember Marquez was also in attendance at that meeting. I also attended the 30-day no camping ordinance second meeting. We talked about, the police talked about 3 incidents that had occurred in Calexico, and with the assistance of outside agencies, nobody got arrested. Assistance were given to people out there that needed assistance. El Centro, I believe the El Centro Police Department is also working on a no capping ordinance, and ICSO also gave us a preview of what they have been doing. We've been working with outside agencies, nonprofit organizations, and there's been a lot of assistance by everyone there. The Calexico Fire, Councilmember Marcus and myself attended the Fire Department Safety Tip presentation at the Camarena Library. Thank you, Manager Lisa Legaspi for hosting it, or the library for hosting it. Chief Orozco gave a fire tip presentation. And the fire truck was also shown as a display for the kids and parents. Councilmember Adriana Marquez put on a turnout. It's called like turnout, fire turnout. There was 60 participants in attendance, and Board of Trustees also showed up. Also attended the Police Commissioners meeting, first meeting. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Thailenda.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to take this time to address a couple conspiracy theories that are out there. We just went through the budget process, and as your council members, we have a duty to ask questions and research and look up different options to help our city. We've heard that the last 5 years the budget was balanced. That's not true. Last year, the previous council gave direction to the then city manager to include the water rate increase in the budget, and that's what we also encountered this year. So council gives direction to the city manager, and city manager gives direction to staff, and staff carries it out. And vice versa, we get recommendations from staff. Nonetheless, so when they come up here and they say that the budget's been balanced for the last 5 years, no. In 2022, we were promoted to number 2 riskiest city. We were number 5 riskiest city per the California State Auditor's Department. So we went from number 5 to number 2 in 2022, and that does not mean we're doing well with our finances. So when we get those comments up here that it was great in the last 5 years, that's not true. And the next one, the goal, at least mine, for mentioning privatization, I'm only one vote. It takes a majority up here to do any changes. But I do get to ask the questions, and I do get to request information to present to the public. Now, we get told that Calapat, which has like 1,000 population, and then Nyland, which has much less than that, have the highest water rates. Yeah, because you offset your water rates and the services by how much consumers there are. So we have about 6,000. So would it be extremely expensive? We don't know. That's why we have to ask for information and present it to the public. So when we get those kinds of comments, that's misinformation, and I just want to clear that up because we don't know what it would be, and we don't know if we're going to go that way anyways. There's a lot of options besides raising the water rates. We have to, as a council, figure out what direction to give city manager so that he can carry it out with staff to make our budget healthy. And the questions that were asked regarding CalPERS and privatization, they're fair questions. And that's fair information. Other cities do it, and not just cities, but counties, jurisdictions, agencies, everything under the sun. So with that said, I just wanted to clear that up and make sure that we know that it's not accurate when they say that we've had a healthy budget. We're number 2 riskiest city per the California State Auditor's Office. So that's what we're working with. And there's a lot of things that have to be done in order to fix that. And one of the biggest ones too that maybe hopefully we as a council can accomplish together is getting our JPIA insurance back. That would be a huge win for the whole community, especially the city. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Marquez.
Thank you. Since our last meeting, well, as all of you know, we've been in budget review meetings, special meetings so that we can approve this budget. And during those times, I was able to meet personally with the finance director to answer a lot of my questions. Thank you for that, Carla. Also with Mr. Coyne, we had a meeting with Councilman Member Legaspi with him in reference to a lot of the new plans and new developments within the city. I had the pleasure to meet with my commissioner, Pat Ureña, and one of the things that we were discussing was the cooling zones or lack thereof for our population. I know that in El Centro and throughout the Imperial Valley we have those, and it's very late in the year. I think we needed to start planning this way before we're hitting 120 degrees, and it's unfortunate that we're not offering that. The other thing was we also spoke about the special events. I was able to reach out to a council member of the city of Imperial who was kind of guiding me in how they're doing theirs. And so, we're bouncing back ideas on how we can develop these calendar of events for our city. Also, I was able to attend the Christmas parade meeting and planning. Thank you, Norma, for putting that together, very informative. And then finally, yes, we were able to go to Camarena Library yesterday, and thank you to the police department for giving the great presentation. It was attended, I really was only expecting little kids to be there, but there was adults there who were very engaged and they were very happy. It was a really nice community event. I was glad to see that there was people from all ages involved, and everybody got to go out and see the fire engines, the ambulance. They got to engage with the fire department and the police department at the same time. Kids and adults had a lot of questions, and I think that's the benefit of having these kind of outreach to the community. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm also going to take this time to address the public comment that we had here about the privatization of the water. And I actually appreciate that all of you are out here so we can clear some misconceptions that are out there. So last year, probably the one biggest issue that the citizens had, and it's not even the recall got close to it, was the increase of the water rate. This place was full. We also, as we were campaigning and we were visiting people, the fees are they're a priority to our citizens. The water fees, the trash fees, and now we all know that the IID increased their fees, and the economy is not doing well. So this whole issue with the water rate increase started because of our budget meetings. Like Councilmember Thailenda said, the previous budget before we were here included water rate increase. It included, maybe that's why it was balanced, because it was included. And it was included before SB 218 was even passed. And then you balance that budget with a fee that wasn't approved. So that's how you balanced it. So this year we were presented a similar budget that included a water rate increase, and for starting in January. And that's the reason why we were adamant, and that's the reason why Councilmember Thailenda and myself said no the first time around, because we said, why are you including a water rate increase? We haven't seen that, we haven't approved that, so why is it in the budget? And that's why the whole conversation about the water rate came up. Nobody here is trying to increase the water rate. It's the complete opposite. We're trying to not increase it, or we're trying to lower it if it's even possible. And that's the reason why we brought up privatizing. And privatizing was an option. We're just thinking out of the box. We're allowed to think out of the box. We should be thinking out of the box, because that's the change that we promised when we ran for city council. So we up here, and I said it last time, and I'll say it again, and I'll repeat it every time I can. We represent the citizens. We don't represent staff, and although staff, there is staff that lives here in Calexico, and they are citizens, but we represent the majority of the citizens of this city. And we have to watch out, we have to look out for their interests. And their interest is for us to keep those rates as low and affordable as they can be, and the service as best as it can be for what they're paying. So we had some people here that were commenting today that said, you know, why are you going to privatize? You have to think about the employees. But yet last year, they were here defending the citizens. So which is it? So we're here defending the citizens. I appreciate that we had some employees from the water plant here that says, you know, let's talk. Yes, let's talk. But let's talk about how we can do things better. Let's talk about what we can do to the plant to keep our operational costs low. Because the water plant and wastewater, it's enterprised. So what enterprise means, it means you have to run it like a private company. It means you have to watch costs. That's what enterprise means, because they keep their money. Everything that they collect from the water services and wastewater, they keep that money. And you have to be able to manage that money wisely with employee costs, with benefits, with your every operational cost that you have, chemicals, everything. You have to think how you can make things better. We just got fined. We just got fined. The water department. I just got the news. So if the water department is not operating as it should be, and all we're getting every year is no ideas on how to fix it, but yet we want to increase the rates and we want to pay them more, but then we're getting fined. Where's that money going to come from? So those are the questions that we're asking, because we represent the citizens and we're here to ask those questions. So we're not trying to increase the rate. We're trying to maintain it, or we're trying to lower it. And that's why we want to consider other options. And I think that when those options are on the table, like Councilmember Thailenda said, we're 5. And we'll see how that 5 vote, and we'll see how that goes. But right now, we have to look at other options because things aren't working the way they currently are. Okay, that's all I have.
I want to leave everyone with this thought. If all 5 of us up here are thinking the same, then we're not thinking. And that's all I have to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move over to the consent agenda. I know, yeah. So before we approve it, I wanted to remove for discussion item number 5 and item number 6.
I'll be abstaining from item number 5.
Okay, so I motion to move item number 5 and item number 6 for discussion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi?
Abstain for 5.
Can I get clarity on that motion? Is the motion to approve items, the consent calendar except items 5 or 6, and we'll hear those separately?
Yeah, so, okay, let me change the motion. I have a motion to approve items number 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 on the consent agenda. Correct? Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Roll call?
Mayor Noricumbo?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi?
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Calderon is absent. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. So moving on to discussion and potential items. We start with item number 5, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi will recuse himself on item number 5.
You'll have to step out of the room since we are pulling the item.
Okay, so he'll have to step out? Okay.
Correct. Yeah, if the item remains on the consent calendar and we take one vote to approve the consent calendar, he does not, but since he's recusing himself on the item, he does need to step out for this separate
Thank you.
discussion.
Yeah. Or just ask Okay. So item number 5, authorize interim city manager to sign and file notice of completion for Adrian C. Cordova Memorial Park Phase 1. The only question I had on that one, before we file a notice of completion, because I didn't see it in the backup, I want to know if it's been inspected by a different agency, an engineering agency or whoever does the inspections, by who it's been inspected, and if it's deemed in good completion, in good order.
So, if I can be allowed to, before I answer that question, if I could give a little background history on this phase number 1. I received a lot of phone calls today in reference to this. There's a little confusion as to what this agenda item was referring to. This has nothing to do with the baseball fields. This is listed work that was approved by City Council back in April 2023. And then they got authorization to spend $175,000 for professional services agreement on April 20th. September 6th, 2023, the City Council approved the illustrative plan and phase 1 of the plan. Then on the 21st of February of 2024, City Council approved the bidding documents for phase 1 and authorized Public Works Department to send the project out to bid. On April 3rd, 2024, City Council awarded the construction contract to Rove Engineering for the total amount of $690.14. March 12th, March 12th of this year, Rove Engineering completed the following work. It was the construction of the new parking lot with accessible parking, the driveway entrance to the park, the new walkways connecting the park to the existing baseball fields, the walkway access to the existing multi-use field, and installation of sewer, water laterals, and stub outs for the future concession stand. So the notice of completion was filed in accordance with Section 3029 of the California Civil Code. A notice of completion will be filed with the County Recorder's Office after the city accepts the work. If not filed, Rove Engineering and suppliers have 90 days from the completion to file lien against the city. So that being said, this is just affirming that the work was done, that was already pre-approved, and so that way it could release the funds to pay the construction firm for their work that they've done. And to answer your question, Madam Mayor, yes, the project was inspected by city staff, by our inspectors also, and also by Dynamic Engineering by the name of Carlos Beltran.
Okay,
And they all
so
signed off to
it's been approved by an engineering firm.
Yes.
Okay. Same question with, oh well, let me just move on that one then. Do I have any questions on item number 5, Councilmember Thailenda? No. Councilmember Marquez?
Well, once again, you said that it was it was revised and everything was approved, correct?
Yes, it was approved. So the question you're asking, when was it revised, or when was it approved?
No.
Or when was it reviewed?
Because my question is, and I think I've asked this before, do we have the impact study for this? Was it ever found?
No, the project was deemed exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, and a notice of exemption was filed.
Can I add something? Yeah. I do want to add, I would have liked to have seen city manager like before and after photos, so we could know what was worked on, because we have the list, but it's a little bit different when we have some backup photos. So just in the future, if we could add that, so not only us, but also the community can see what this entails, what we're actually approving notice of completion for. Thank you.
Okay, so just to clear up, it has nothing to do with what's the issue that they have with the Cordova Park, the baseball diamonds, nothing. It's the parking, the sidewalks, just so they can finalize that out, get that paid. It's been inspected and it has passed inspection, correct?
Correct, Madam Mayor.
Okay. So I motion to approve item number 5. Do I have a second?
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, we have a public
Oh,
comment.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Public
Raul
comment.
Ureña.
Thank you. I can't comment on the audit reports, but you need to check those numbers, which fiscal years you're talking about and how those rankings are going. With regard to Cordova Park, con respecto al Parque Córdoba, quiero proveer un poquito de perspectiva, un poquito de historia. ¿Por qué se tardó tanto este parque en concluirse? ¿Y qué fueron los pasos de intervención que tuvieron que pasar para que hoy día estuviéramos celebrando la apertura de este gran parque? Primero que nada, es un parque que mayormente se destina de los fondos especiales del vecindario Victoria. En esos tiempos, 2019-2020, desafortunadamente se tomó la decisión por administraciones muy pasadas de proceder con el parque sin ningún plano de ingeniería. Entonces usaron tubos de medida incorrecta, banquetas de medida incorrecta y no pudo ser abierto a pesar de que se gastó el dinero en una primera fase previa a esta. Se usó el dinero ARPA. El ARPA, si se acuerdan, es el dinero de la pandemia que tenemos hasta diciembre del 2026 para gastar, en donde la primera administradora de esta ciudad mexicoamericana, que fue corrida por razones no mencionadas, Esperanza Colio, intervinió, puso un contrato de ingeniería para corregir esos planos por ahí del 2023, 2024. Se corrigieron las medidas, se hizo el trabajo y por eso hoy estamos celebrando la gran apertura de este parque. No hay que tirar fiesta con sombrero ajeno. Este proyecto se corrigió, se cumplió por la administradora que corrimos, que ahora es jefa de condado en el condado de San Benito, uno de los condados más caros y más prestigiosos de toda California. Entonces no hay que tirar fiesta con sombrero ajeno, no hay que decir que nosotros hicimos esto, porque la verdad esta administración tuvo poco que ver. Lo que sí debemos que ver como ciudadanos es que como no se avanzó en proyectos de ARPA en este año, como se hizo en los años previos, lo que resta de la alocación que administraciones pasadas pusieron en un guardadito para parques, por ahí de 1.2 millones de dólares, como bien dijo la directora de finanzas, como no se logró o no se va a lograr gastar a tiempo, es muy probable que esos fondos destinados a parque se van a desviar a otras cosas. ¿Por qué? Por la pérdida de tiempo en haber corrido una de las mejores administradoras que fue responsable por la apertura del parque de hoy. Felicidades, Calexico. Recordemos no tirar fiesta con sombrero ajeno, y de eso sirve mi comentario, un recordatorio histórico de cómo se finalizó este parque. Felicidades, Calexico.
Thank you. Do you have any further comment? Okay. I have a motion to approve item number 5. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo,
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
and Councilmember Calderon is absent. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Can you call? Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 6. Authorize city manager to sign and file notice of completion for alley improvement project phase number 2. And basically, same situation. I just want to ensure that it's been inspected by professional engineers and they deem it good and ready to go.
Again, to answer your question, Madam Mayor, yes, it was inspected by city staff, city inspectors, and also again by Dynamic Engineering, Mr. Carlos Beltran.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any comment from the council or questions? No? Okay. No public comment either? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve? Item number 6, do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Calderon is absent. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to discussion and potential action items. Item number 12, introduce and conduct first reading by title only of an ordinance amending the Calexico Municipal Code sections 10.28.070 and 10.28.185 related to the regulation of parking meters and council approval of action report on the implementation to reestablish the downtown meters.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I'm bringing before you the implementation and adjustment of the Calexico Municipal Code ordinance in adjusting the revenue or the prices of the meters and the hours of operation. We've had several town hall meetings, workshops with the public and with business owners, and we've received their input on what they like to see in the downtown as far as to assist them with their businesses and to still create revenue for the city. They've been a great help. Their view is they want to help the city, and of course our stance is we want to help the businesses. We can't coexist without the other. What benefits the businesses benefits the city and vice versa. So today I bring before you a change of fees from lowering it from the $1.25 was pre-approved last year to $1 an hour from the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with a 2-hour limit, and then to increase the fee from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. to $2 an hour, and it's going to be pay as you go. What this is going to do is going to assist the public if they want to park in our downtown and they transit over to Mexicali, they can pay as they go. We're working with a company to finalize the improvement of the contract where they'll be able to pay either by an app or pay at the meter with a credit card, touch pay, or again with coins. So let's see, what's the next one? And so we believe that we should also look into this after 6 months because this is a new program for the city of Calexico. It was hard to gauge how we should adjust the pricing because we don't accept credit cards in the downtown. We never have. So we also have to take in consideration the fees that come with these, accessibility. One, for example, is a credit card fee. Anytime you use a credit card, you're going to be charged 45 cents, and that's anywhere you go. Usually businesses absorb this cost. There's also a transaction fee from the vendor that can be 3% plus 20 cents. Also, there's a convenience fee that could be charged and that's anywhere you go. These are fees that now that we're getting into the business of accepting electronic transactions, we have to take into account when it comes to our fees. So if we take an example, someone parks for an hour and it's $1, well, you already spent over 50 cents on transaction fees that the city would pay, and so realistically it's still 50 cents. So that's why we looked into charging for overnight parking. This will also open up the parking lots for that also and allow us to start metering the parking lots.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment? Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi, you have any questions?
No, but just a comment. How long have we been without our parking meters?
So we noticed some deficiencies, and in the sense of fairness, the city council decided to bag them in October of last year.
So this is the first time we've been without them for such a long time.
Correct. We usually do bag them for the holidays, again, to help the business owners to bring in revenue to the city, so that, again, what helps the businesses helps the city. So,
And my understanding, you had a positive town hall meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're always looking for economy growth. So I think it's a good idea for us to go forward with this. Thank you, Roscoe, for doing a good job on the town hall meeting and bringing up all these ways of bringing in money for our city.
Thank you. Councilmember Thailenda.
I want to say thank you to the city manager and all the staff who was involved on this item. The backup was great. All the information, the town halls. I got a lot of good feedback from the business community. So I think it's great. And I just asked that maybe for the holidays we come up with some ideas on maybe how we bag it, how we don't bag it, maybe some sections to kind of make up for lost revenue or something, if you want, yeah.
So again, with the convenience of electronics, now we don't have to bag them anymore. We can go onto the computer, we can say no fee, and it's a touch of a button. So again, now we don't have to have employees going out there and bagging them and unbagging them. It's just when we have parades too, we can say no parking. So it's we're jumping ahead in technology, and it helps the public, it makes lower costs as far as public, what we're spending. So yeah.
Yeah, and maybe when that time comes, maybe if you could bring back something to us that says like you're gonna bag them from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. because most of the stores close, and then maybe you could make some money after 6 because then everyone starts parking that go across. So something like that.
Correct. The ordinance right now that stands when we bag them at the end of the year requires us to bring it to council to bag them. So I would bring it to council to request to bag them from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to help the businesses out.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez.
And thank you, Chief. I know that you also had a recommendation in regards to the holiday season and how it's going to be offset. So that idea of maybe upping the price so that we can lower the price for during business hours, that was great, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to just comment too, because one of the comments we received earlier was criticizing the fact that we green bagged them and didn't get this funding almost a year, right? That we weren't charging, or 10 months maybe. But in the end, the ends justify, is it the ends justify the means, or the other way around? We were able to do what we want to start doing, and we want to get community input. And that's exactly what we did, and we didn't have one town hall, we had 2, and we have buy-in from the business owners. And I'm just happy that it was done this way, even though it took longer than we would have liked, but we're finally here. So that's all I have to say. And you said no public comment? Okay, so do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Calderon is absent. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 13, Housing Element Update Workshop. Consideration of potential rezone sites for the 6th cycle Housing Element Residential Sites Inventory.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of council. I'll be presenting this item tonight. So every jurisdiction in California is required to adopt. So every jurisdiction in California is required to adopt a housing element. It's one of the few mandatory general plan elements that the state requires. We're currently in the 6th cycle housing element, which runs from 2021 to 2029. So we're in the middle of the period. We were required to have adopted and have our housing element certified back in 2021. And one of the main components of a housing element is the residential sites inventory. It's essentially the areas of the city normally that are vacant or underutilized that have the capacity to generate housing for the city. Low income, medium or moderate income, and above moderate income housing. We were walloped with about 5,800 units that we had to identify in our housing element. And this is called the Regional Housing Needs Allocation. Just for context, El Centro was assigned a RENA of 3,800 and Raleigh about 1,500. So right from the start, this housing element and accommodating so much housing capacity was really challenging. And we approached it trying to use mixed-use housing and sites that were above 10 acres in site. Unfortunately, the state they use this criteria that's set forth in statute, that they prefer sites for low-income housing to be between half an acre and 10 acres. And so based on some of those criteria, the state rejected our housing element and our sites inventory. And so this is where we're at now. It is very important to have an adopted housing element. The state takes it very seriously. They can fine the city up to $250,000 per month. We are kind of on blast with the California Department of Housing Community Development for not having a certified housing element. And they have been working with us since I got here back in January, particularly on this inventory that I'm presenting to you tonight. So I think that, so I've been working with property owners, different brokers representing property owners, some of whom are here tonight. Every property that's on this inventory received notice of this workshop so that they're aware of the city's intent for their properties, especially for the rezone sites, which I'll go through shortly. So we are proposing about 34 sites for rezoning in order to create that capacity and meet our regional housing needs allocation, which is, so I'll just break it down. It's the total regional housing needs allocation is 4,868 units. And of those units, 1,279 are for very low-income households. 655 units are for low-income households. 614 units are for moderate income. 2,320 units are for above moderate income. I used a conventional approach to identify capacity. So in statute, the state prescribes that sites that have a minimum density of 20 dwelling units per acre qualify for to meet your low-income capacity requirement. Likewise, for moderate income housing, the medium density residential would correspond to the moderate income housing. And then the low density residential, which is your typical R1 product, single family product, corresponds to the above moderate income requirement. And so that's how it's broken down in the inventory, and that's a more conservative approach. It's conventional, and working with HCD, it seems that it'll be acceptable to them, and we'll be able to meet our regional housing needs allocation requirement. And so I'll just briefly go over the various sites that we've identified that will hopefully make up the RENA. These are candidate sites, and of course, it is the council's discretion to either accept them or modify them or eliminate sites from consideration. And so just for ease of review, I've broken up the city into quadrants. So this is the northeast quadrant. The northwest quadrant. Thank you, Chief. East of Highway 111, north of Cole Road. And so sites 1 through 4, which are shown here, are existing residentially zoned properties that would be part of the site's inventory. We would not need to rezone these sites as they are existing residential, and we're proposing to keep them in their existing zoning. Sites 5 to 8 are candidate sites for rezoning and are proposed for rezoning to medium to high residential zones. And then I also would like to highlight that as part of this effort, and working with HCD, we were able to get a $250,000 grant that'll cover the environmental impact report that needs to be prepared in order for this council to rezone these properties. And so some of the sites, for example, are identified as by right housing sites, those sites that are high density residential, low income sites primarily. would be by right housing sites, which would mean that they can move forward solely with a grading and building permit. They are identified as by right because they have existing utilities and infrastructure, sidewalks, street access, and they're primarily infill development. So as I go through these slides, I'll highlight what sites are also by right. So the sites that are identified for rezone, sites 6, 7, and 8 are also identified as by right housing sites. And then this is the northwest quadrant. This is what I'll call the Cole Boulevard corridor. Sites 9 through 17, excepting sites 13 and 14, are already residentially zoned and would be included in our inventory. Sites 13, 14, 19 through 23 along Cole Boulevard are currently in the neighborhood commercial zone, and those would be rezoned to high density residential. And as a reminder, the high density residential corresponds to the low income capacity. I'd like to clarify that although it's identified as a low income housing site, that doesn't mean that only low income housing can be developed at that property. And later I'll go in onto the totals and this notion of a buffer, because that kind of relates to development of market rate housing on these low income sites. Okay, so site 19 through 23 would also be by right housing sites. As you can see in this map, we've preserved the corner areas of these corridors, of these major intersections for neighborhood commercial, to try to preserve that retail for the city, so that these neighborhoods do have neighborhood retail. And then site 24, also shown here, that's existing high residential zoning, and that would be included by default in our sites inventory, as it already is high density residential. And then moving on to our southeast corridor. So this is along Highway 98. Sites 25, 29, 30 are currently zoned for low density residential. We're not proposing rezoning for these sites. They would meet our above moderate income RENA requirement. Sites 26, 27, 28 are proposed for rezoning from medium to high residential density zoning, and those would help meet, sorry, I think this moves forward automatically. So let me go back, okay. So sites 26, 27, and 28 are proposed for rezoning to medium to high density residential zoning. Sites 31 to 35 are currently in the highway commercial zone, and those would be are proposed for rezoning to high density residential. Moving on to the last part of the city, which is on our western side.
I have a quick question. High density residential, you mean like apartments?
Yeah, primarily you're looking at anywhere between 20 to 30 dwelling units per acre. Those can be condos or apartments. It could be a product that is normally 2-3 stories. The medium density residential would be your more garden style apartments, 1 to 2 story with more landscaping. The high density is more urban in nature. It's a higher density product. So the Remington apartments, for example, the new 3-story ones are high density residential. So this last quadrant along east of Highway 111, so sites 36 to 45 are proposed for rezoning from industrial to high density residential. Sites 37 through 45 are adjacent to single family residential development. Site 36 was selected because, as we're all aware, we received the grant to improve, the $8.5 million grant to improve Heber Park. And this particular site is just across from that park, and it's underutilized, and hopefully this will be a test case for future residential development in the area. I've spoken with many property owners in this industrial core of the city, and a lot of them are interested in redeveloping their properties to residential uses. So this could be a precursor to that. And so hopefully we'll see if that transpires with this property. And then site 47, that site is a vacant lot that's also proposed for rezoning. That one we're rezoning to R2, which is a low medium density residential designation. And then sites 46, 48, and 49, those all have high density, existing high density residential zoning. So those we wouldn't rezone, and those would be included by default in our inventory. And then sites 50 through 53, those are also currently zoned highway commercial, and we've also consulted with the property owner, and they're also interested in developing high density residential product on these sites, and as such we've also identified for rezoning because they'd help meet our housing capacity requirement. And so part of the housing capacity, even though we've been assigned 4,868 units for our regional housing needs allocation, we have to identify a buffer for those sites that may, because there's a law called Senate Bill 166 called the No Net Loss Law that requires that whenever a site that is identified for low income capacity is developed with market rate, we have to maintain that low income capacity elsewhere. And so we need to maintain a buffer so that we can allow market rate development to occur on high density residential sites. Otherwise, we could end up in a situation where only low income housing could move forward. And so that's part of the buffer. So the totals that are before you with this inventory would exceed our RENA slightly. And so we would generate, with this proposal, we would generate capacity for 2,012 low-income units, 997 moderate-income units, and, sorry, I need to put my glasses on. I don't have it memorized. So, and 2,957 units for above moderate, for a total of 5,966 units. And so this completes my presentation, and we would like to open this for anybody who may have come to discuss properties on this proposed rezones list and see if you would recommend we move forward with the inventory as crafted. That way we can move forward and have a certified housing element.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment? Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi.
Yeah, I have a comment. Michael, you did a great job. Awesome work. I see a school official out there, and he's counting how we're going to lower our impact fees, and I think he's excited that we're going to have more houses, more students coming in, right? So we're going to lower our impact fees, correct? It's on video. Okay, he didn't answer me. We got developers knocking on the doors, Mike. Is that what you're saying? You got a lot of developers that want to come in?
There's actually a lot of interest, especially for properties along Cole Road. And in fact, the properties we're proposing for rezoning from industrial to high density residential, we have received plans for high density residential development on those sites already.
Economic growth, city growth. Good job. I'm all for this. Let's go. And if approved, it'll start February?
We're looking at having the EIR. So fortunately, with the new state budget, our grant expenditure deadline was extended for another 6 months. So we have a little more flexibility. The original target date was to get these rezones done by February of 2026, but as probably Council Member Thailenda knows very well, preparing an EIR is a long process, and it was a very aggressive timeline. So we will accomplish it.
I know you will, Mike. I have faith in you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Thailenda?
You can do it.
You can do it, Mike.
We can do it. It'll be done. Thank you, Michael, for all this information, and to all your staff who worked on it. I was going to ask you, when this starts, or when we're close to nearing, hopefully we can start those talks again with the school district so they can keep their fees low too, so we can incentivize development. Other than that, I have nothing to say. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Marquez?
Just congratulations and thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. So I'd like to just say I'm happy to know that, you know, developers are interested, that you've accomplished this. How long did you say we hadn't updated our housing element for?
Well, we attempted, but the state gave us a huge RENA compared to other cities. And then there was this new requirement called affirmatively furthering fair housing. So it was this cycle was particularly difficult. The city really tried hard. It was just that we came short, and I think there were issues with the consultant, and so we were supposed to have it had adopted back in 2021, but unfortunately we were able to get there. But we're getting there.
Okay.
This is one big step forward.
All right, thank you. Well, this definitely means growth, rezoning, more housing, and that's what we need and that's what we want. So, do I have a motion to approve?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi?
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Calderon is absent. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to public hearing. Item number 14, public hearing on a resolution of the City Council of the City of Calexico vacating a portion of frontage road, Birch Street, between Edie Avenue and Lacey Avenue, and authorizing the city manager to quitclaim said portion to the Calexico Unified School District. I'd like to open the public hearing at 8:30 p.m. Is there a presentation from staff?
No, I'll just provide a quick overview. So back on May 21st, the council approved the first step in a statutorily required process to approve a street vacation. And this would be the second and final action required under the Streets and Highways Code, Section 8300, which establishes the procedure for vacating a right-of-way. And so the requirement is also to conduct this public hearing. We also were required to post notices along the street proposed for vacation, which we accomplished. And we also provided notices to property owners within 300 feet of the proposed street vacation. And this resolution before you would officially, we would record it, and that would vacate the right-of-way. You're also authorizing the city manager to quitclaim the rights to the property, and upon recordation of that quitclaim deed, it would be transferred, the ownership would be transferred to the Calexico Unified School District. And the resolution, and thanks to the school district, they have prepared the legal plat and legal description required as part of the street vacation.
Okay, does any member of the council have any question for staff? Okay.
I know we have the assistant superintendent here. Could we kind of get a little bit of a background of what it's proposed to be used for, why we're doing this process, how it's going to benefit our community? Please. Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, community, and staff that is here. My name is Luis de la Torre. I'm here representing the Calexico Unified School District, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. We appreciate that you're taking this action tonight and that you're considering this action tonight. The utilization of this site, just a little historical context, it had been utilized by the Calexico Unified School District for our Family Resource Center for many, many, many years. Came to find out that it really wasn't the full property of the Calexico Unified School District. The project that is being proposed is an MOU that we're entering with the Imperial County Office of Education. We have two representatives here from the Imperial County Office of Education. We at the school district feel that the utilization for this project is a really great thing for our community. It's an early education center. It'll create opportunities for our youth, our youngest children in our community, put them on a pathway to their education, moving on to the Calexico Unified School District. But I think that they can better speak to the specific details of what that early center is going to be looking like.
Thank you.
I would concede to them. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wendy Rangel. I'm the facilities manager for ICOE.
And Marco Peroni, I'm the facilities project coordinator for ICOE.
Thank you. Thank you, members of the board. So this facility is intended to provide services to the kids of our community through 18 months, from 18 months to 3 years old, and then they would basically help also the parents of these kids to transition the kids into our school districts. The plan is to install a 40 by 60 modular building with a playground fronting Birch Street, and then an expansion of a grass area for the kids to basically develop their needs to play. We as members of the ICOE, we pride ourselves in creating facilities that would help the community and the kids and also their parents. And we are extremely excited to expand our services to the community with this new facility.
Awesome, thank you.
So I would just ask if you have any other specific questions that we may answer. We're more than happy to.
No more questions?
No.
Councilmember Marquez, any questions? Okay.
Thank
Do
you.
I have public comment? No public comment. Okay. So do I have, I'm sorry, give me a second. Public hearing. Being as there are no other speakers, I'll close the public comment portion of the hearing at, what time is it? 8:36 p.m. If there's nothing else, do I have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Calderon is absent, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Informational items. Item number 15, action report for implementation of a revised procedure for scheduling funeral processions.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is an informational report. It's something that's has come up time and time again at the police department, and we get put into a situation where we're trying to help the public, and that's our number one mission at the police department. Right now, currently, the way the process goes when the public requests for funeral escorts is they come to the police department, they pay for the permit, and then we schedule the funeral escort. More times than not, what happens is, the public or the person that's family member is deceased has a million things that are going through their mind. The last thing they think about is a, funeral escort. And so, obviously we want to always try to make things better for the public. And so we brainstormed, we reached out to the funeral homes in the area, and so we could try to have a little brainstorming session. And the ones that attended, what we came up with is that we changed the process just a little bit. The price is the same. We're not changing what it costs. It's just that instead of putting it on the person, the public, we reroute the process to the actual free funeral home. When you're sitting down at the funeral home and you're making your arrangements, that's where that would be asked, and that's where would it be requested, through the funeral home. And then what they do is once they're done with their planning, they would call the police department, request for the escort, and then at the end of the month, we would invoice the funeral home for that escort. So that serves two purposes. It takes one thing off their minds for the public when they're planning this tragic event, and sometimes these events could be planned a month and a half in advance. And the way it helps the police department is that now we can schedule our traffic controllers. We can more strategically place the people, because what happens when it's not done is we're scrambling to get people to come in on overtime to do this funeral procession. And this way we can pre-plan it, so that way we can reduce the overtime and meet the needs of the public. Plus we could see if there's going to be a big procession, we can adjust how many people are coming. So that's my presentation as far as what we'd like to do, and for the police department to help our citizens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That was for informational items. No action is required, but do any council members have any questions or comments?
I just want to say I think it's wonderful how you've planned to set it up, so that more people will have the service offered to them as well. So that's helpful.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Item number 16, informational items, maintenance schedule for pressure washing alleys and sidewalks downtown.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Back in May, Councilmember Marcus requested a schedule of when the city plans on doing the cleaning, pressure washing the alleys, as well as the sidewalks in the downtown area. Went ahead and met with staff, and we developed a schedule for the next 6 months. The first time will be starting on the 18th of July, and then so forth. We also contacted Republic Services, as well as the company that does our street sweeping services, and they are on board. They reviewed the dates and they're fine with it. So staff, it takes about 8 people in one night to do the pressure washing and cleaning of the sidewalks. So that's what I provided you today.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi, do you have any questions or comments?
No.
Councilmember Talende?
Oh, no, thank you for all the information.
Councilmember Marquez?
Thank you for the information. I know that you guys are working hard on it, but one of the things that we wanted to change is the look of our downtown, and this is really going to help us. And I know that we also spoke in regards to the power washing of storefronts, and you've been talking to the merchants in regards to that. I really thank you for this.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have nothing. Thank you for the information. You're welcome. Future agenda items. Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi?
Yes, I would like to bring back an item that was tabled on the proposed capital improvement implementation for unless we're under any time constraint, Lily, for September. Is that a good first meeting in September? Is that good, Lily? Because I understand that we have a lot of items coming up on the next council meeting. Also, I've always been commenting on zero tolerance when it comes to business license. It's the same thing with the cannabis license. So on the next council meeting, I want to let us know if all proper documents are current and if everything's flowing smoothly. And the cooling zone, I know, is it online? Is it online? Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Thailenda.
I just would like, City Manager, if we could get on the agenda the RFPs that were received, I believe, for the forensic audit. I know that previous City Manager was working on bringing that with finance. If we could get that on one of the next meetings, maybe September. And The other item was, through the budget, I know that we approved the allocation for the fee studies. If we could just get an informational item sometime in September, of like when we're, a timeline of, releasing the RFP and so forth, please. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Marquez?
So I just wanted to go back to when we had our prior city manager. I did kind of give him instructions on what we wanted to do in regards to the cannabis business and how to monitor that. I don't know how far along we got in developing a plan.
We developed a plan, and in fact, we actually even started doing we did an inspection of one of the businesses, and we're going forward with that.
So is there any way that maybe we can report back to council if what of those asks were actually implemented or being implemented at this time?
Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you. And then once again, the cooling zones, that would be great. And the information, thank you, Norma, for letting me know. And once again, the graffiti, how are we going about to reporting it and making sure that we're moving forward to making sure that we're clearing it right away? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Marquez. I know I told you a couple of these to you already, Chief. I have 3 items on starting to discuss new policy. Well, one of them's not, I mean, 2 are to discuss new policy. But the first one, I'd like to request that on the next regular agenda meeting of July the 16th, that you put on for discussion possible action by the council and obviously a public input on seeing if we want to go out for bid for engineering services for the Cordova Park situation, so that the main purpose is to have an actual engineer, a professional, come out and assess the current situation that we have, what can be done, how much money we have, or what can be done with the money that we have, and all those things, so that we can finally remedy the situation and put that to rest. So it's a discussion so that the council can, have a chat and see how we want to proceed. The other 2 are policy. Again, I just want to start the discussion. One of them, I would like to propose that we change that we modify our ordinance or policy about adding a beautification component to our new development. So what I mean by that, the city is going to have a lot of capital improvements that we're going to be making. And I would like the council to have a discussion on seeing if this is something that how we would like to proceed as a city. And what I mean by that is, I had spoken to Director Coyne, and he gave me a very good example. For example, in the city of Santee, there was, if I remember correctly the story, I think it was San Diego Gas and Electric. They came in, they were going to do something there with batteries, or no, what was it? What?
Yes, it was a battery storage facility,
yeah,
with a tall wall.
Right. So instead of doing like a brick wall that was facing outside, the city required, so that it wouldn't be a wall where it's just going to get graffitied, the city required that they did a different type of fencing with landscaping. So not only does it prevent graffiti, but it also beautifies the city. So we've got, for example, the Anza Bridge that's over the All-American Canal, that we've been looking for funding, and we're working on that to redo it. But why not make it a statement bridge at the same time, so that when we start doing all these things, we also at the same time start beautifying our city. So that's kind of the discussion that I would like to have. The other item would be, because of all the recent issues we had with the budget, I'd like to also initiate a discussion on the budget policy timeline. when we should start working on it, if there's any methodology we want to use, or if we just want to leave that to the city manager's discretion. But just have a discussion so that we don't ever run again into this type of thing where we're doing stuff at the last minute. It benefits everybody. It benefits the staff. It benefits the citizens. Everything's out there, and we just want to be able to start on time and just have that discussion on what the council thinks. If we do have a policy, maybe present it. If we don't have a policy, maybe we need to have one. Or if it's an ordinance, I don't know. So I'll leave that up to you guys. So, anybody else have anything? All right. So do I have, that's it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Noricumbo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Legaspi,
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Calderon is absent, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Meeting adjourned at 8:48 p.m.